Welcome to our fourth episode. This is our death series. Thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe. Okay, so we are going to be talking about terrifying events that happen in horror movie sets. Okay, people? So let's get ready to talk about it. Okay, so horror movies have captured some really terrifying moments. Okay, they can be downright scary, but in some cases, that event that took place on a horror movie set were more terrifying than the fictional films they produced. In fact, many of the biggest and most successful horror movies of all time had a number of strange, horrifying things that happened during filming or shortly after. In several cases, these incidents involved someone passing away. Whether the deadly events that have befallen horror movie sets were mere accidents, cruel twists of fate, or some sort of evil curse remains up for debate. But there's no disputing the facts of what took place in the following list of 10 terrifying things and events that happened on movie sets, and it's very horrible, people. Okay, so we are going to go through the list of movies. So the movies where this stuff happened was it's called The Possession. This is in 2012. The next movie was in 2015. In 2005, people. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. The next movie is The Conjuring, and this is in 2013. The Twilight Zone, the movie, and this is in 1983. The next movie is Amityville Horror in 1979 and in 2005. So it sounds like they made two of them. The next movie was The Poltergeist in 1982. The next movie is The Exorcist in 1973. Next movie is Rosemary's Baby, 1968. The next movie is Psycho from 1960, and the next movie is Omen in 1976. And also, you guys, if you've seen any of these movies, go ahead and comment below. Let us know which one you like and which one you haven't seen, or that you do want to see and that you've already seen. I wonder, half of this list it seems like I've seen, okay? And it's because my dad, he loves horror movies, people. And we would all watch it together as a family, so other than that, I do not watch horror movies as an adult. I don't do that no more. I like more like romantic comedies. Okay, so I seen The Exorcism. I'm not sure if I seen the one in '05. It's a good chance I've seen it, though, because of my dad. Okay, so The Twilight Zone, the movie in 1983. I'm sure I've seen it again because they pretty much loved watching scary movies in my family. Okay, so The Conjuring, that sounds familiar, so I'm imagining I've seen that one, and that one's in 2013, so I think I've probably seen that one too. The Amityville Horror, I know I've had to have seen at least one of them. I don't know from which year, whether it was the 1979 or the 2005, but if we can go back and watch these movies and look at the stuff that's on set, maybe we will be able to pick out things on why things were happening. And maybe we might even be able to see something in the film like ghosts or something creepy. You have to really pay close attention, and someone else has to be watching it with you. So you can see, do you see some of the spookiness, that causes stuff. The Poltergeist, I know I've seen that. The Exorcist, I know I've seen that. The Omen, I know I've seen that. Rosemary's Baby sounds familiar, so I think I might have seen that one. Psycho, it sounds familiar, but it says 1960, so I'm not so sure. Have I seen it? Have I not? I don't know. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so The Possession in 2012 is coming in the number 10 spot. Okay, the 2012 movie The Possession is an unconventional horror movie that involves Judaism and a cursed diabolic box that attaches itself to a young girl. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, one of the stars of the film, is no stranger to playing roles in paranormal movies in television shows. He has, after all, played the father on the TV series Supernatural. But what happened on the set of Possession left Mr. Morganman feeling a little uneasy. This makes me think of Hellraiser. That was another scary movie from back in the day. There's so many good scary movies. Maybe we will, coming up in the Death series, do some of my other favorite scary movies. And we'll put them just all on a list. And then y'all will be able to tell me, have you seen it too? And do you guys like the movie Hellraiser like me? Okay, so back to the movie. Some of the weird things that happened included lights exploding for no apparent reason, as well as chilly breezes wafting through the closed sets for no particular reason. Maybe that was ghosts. But the scariest incident occurred when the storage facility where all the props were being held caught fire and burned to the ground. An investigation into the blaze confirmed that it could not be blamed on arson or an electrical fault. So what caused the fire? It was ruled undetermined by investigators. But it is worth noting that the diabolical box used in the movie was destroyed in the fire. The cast and crew later refused to allow the movie's producer to replace the diabolical box for fear it was cursed. Okay, it's so hard to know what to do when things happen. You're just like, it's the box. You know, if you're working on set. I've worked on movie sets, people. And yes, there are things you can get hurt when you work on movie sets. It happens. And then, for the simple fact that there's racism nowadays, when you get hit with a piece of equipment, you're not so sure. Is it because this town doesn't really like black people? You just don't know really what is going on or why whatever is happening is happening. Just like when something falls, you know. You'll wonder, is this an accident or is what's going on set? But what you have to remember too is when you work on set, these people are people like you. So they might not, you know, be completely fully there, or they could be tired, so they thought they screwed that on, but they didn't screw it on good enough, and then it falls some point in time because it wasn't on there very, you know, it wasn't on there very good. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so the next movie is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Okay, so Dexter star Jennifer Carpenter reported that during the making of the 2005 movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, the radio in her hotel room would mysteriously turn on and off. And each time the radio would come on, it was playing the Pearl Jam song Alive. Other cast members claimed that their radio or television also came on for no apparent reason. In The Carpenter, they too heard the hit Pearl Jam song. The incidents bothered the cast and crew so much that they eventually had the radios removed from their hotel rooms, which is scary. Okay, that is scary, people. The next movie is The Conjuring from 2013. The Conjuring is a movie based on the true story of the Perron family who experienced unexplained ghost activity in their home in Rhode Island in the 1970s. Several members of the family actually visited the movie set during filming, but nothing could not convince the Carol Pearson, the mother of the family, to set foot near the set, and for good reason. A number of weird and unexplained events plagued the filming of this movie. Once, while the Perron family were on set, a strong wind came up and seemed to swirl around them. Members of crews standing nearby noticed that the trees just opposite of them was not moving. Worse was to come. Just a couple days later, the hotel that the actors and movie crew were staying in caught fire and everyone had to be evacuated. James Wayne, the movie's director, recalls working late in his office one evening when his dog started growling at something. Getting up to investigate, Wayne couldn't find anything that would antagonize the dog. However, the dog kept growling and seemed to focus on an unseen entity across the room. Animals, sometimes people can see things that you cannot. That's what your animal is there for, because they know there's something around and you might not be aware of it. It's creepy, but animals like cats and dogs, they can sense things. Okay, so the next person, Vera Farmiga, who played the role of paranormal investigator, refused to take the script home with her as she said it made her feel uneasy. She also couldn't read it at night because she became paralyzed by fear whenever she tried. She remembers opening her laptop once and seeing 3 slashes across the screen as if some creature had dragged his paw across it. Ooh, that's pretty creepy, right, people? Or do you think she scared herself into thinking that there's something there that's not there, right? Okay, next movie is Twilight Zone. This is in 1983. Vic Morrow, who is the late father of actress Jennifer Jason Leigh, was killed on the set of 1983 movie The Twilight Zone. But what makes this tragedy especially freaky is that Morrow predicted his own passing. A year before filming of Twilight Zone, the movie began, Morrow took out a $5 million life insurance policy on himself, telling friends and family members that he had a premonition something bad was going to happen to him on an upcoming movie. That's a little creepy, right, people? Sure enough, while filming a scene for the Twilight Zone, a helicopter crashed and decapitated Morrow. 2 child actors were also hurt during this situation of the helicopter coming down, which prompted a lengthy investigation and court case. It was later revealed that the 2 Vietnamese child actors who were hurt, well, they passed away, people, in the tragedy had been hired illegally by the producers. It was also revealed in court that the movie's concept artist mistakenly drew a burned-out helicopter in the middle of a river in his sketches, essentially foreshadowing the accident. That's very creepy, right, people? This is starting to creep me out. What about you? Oh, no. It doesn't make you want to work on a scary movie set after hearing about this, right? That was what I didn't do. When I worked on set, I did not work on any scary movie sets. And then I did pass up some movies just to hang out, where they try to book you for something and then you end up not showing up to the wardrobe, where you got to get, like the day before filming, they want to fit you for the wardrobe, and I end up not showing up to either. So I had some other stuff going on in my life I wanted to go to, and it's like, which one do I want to go to? And then this one, and I ended up not going. So yeah, I haven't done any scary movies or been on any scary movie sets. Okay, so the next movie is the Amityville Horror in 1979 and 2005. Events on the set of the 1979 movie, The Amityville Horror, were almost as scary as what transpired in real life. Haunting, on which the film was based. The first Amityville movie was starred James Brolin and Margot Kidder and was based on a true story. Okay, so James was not too keen on doing the movie and only accepted it after something strange happened while reading the script one morning. And getting to a scary section of the story, a pair of James' pants suddenly fell off the hanger, causing the actor to literally jump out of his chair in fright. Okay, so it fell off the hanger. Big deal. Okay, so in 2005, the movie was remade with Ryan Reynolds assuming the part originally played by James just before filming was due to start. A dead body washed up on shore right by the movie set. Throughout filming of the movie, Reynolds, along with other members of the cast and crew, each kept waking up at 3:15 a.m. each morning. That is creepy, right? It just so happened that this was also the time that the real-life murders took place during the actual events of the Amityville Horror. That is creepy, right, people? Okay, so the next movie on the list is The Poltergeist, 1982. The events that befell the cast of the 1982 movie The Poltergeist was truly sad and tragic. Okay, both Heather O'Rourke, who played little Carol Ann, and Dominique Dunn, who played older sister Dana, died while working on the Poltergeist film franchise. Okay, so it says Heather passed away on the operating table when she was just 12 years old while finishing work on the sequel to The Poltergeist 3. And then it says the next lady, Dominique, she was murdered by an ex-boyfriend a day after the first movie premiered. Wow. Today, the two co-stars are buried in the same California cemetery. Cast and crew working on the Poltergeist films were so creeped out by what transpired that the producer, Will Sampson, had the set of Poltergeist 2. The other side exercised before filming began because he felt the set was evil. Sampson himself then passed away during an operation shortly after the Poltergeist was completed. It seems like these people have ill fate after working on this stuff, people. So the next movie is The Exorcist in 1973, arguably the most well-known horror movie of all time, and a seminal film of the 1970s. The Exorcist is widely known to have a curse associated with it. The set certainly saw a lot of creepy events take place. These included Irish character actor Jack McGowan, who plays Burke Dennings in the movie. He passes away unexpectedly just a few days after he wrapped his part in the movie. A special effects worker and a security guard passed away while the movie was in production. Okay. And the entire set burning down for no apparent reason and necessitating that it be rebuilt. Okay, that is creepy, people. Eventually, director Williams Friedkin had a priest come to the set and perform a real-life exorcism. But the religious ceremony seemed to do little to stop the curse, which appeared to even affect people who watched the completed movie. What? That sounds scary and creepy. Several audience members had a heart attack when the film hit theaters. Okay, they're creeping me out, people. They're creeping me out. Sounds like, so that movie again was The Exorcist. That probably got more people to see it too once they hear all this bad stuff happening. It's kind of like that saying from back in the day. I forgot what it was, when the people look in the mirror and they're supposed to say the person's name, but they have to be in a dark room with a mirror and say the name, and then it's supposed to appear. I forgot what that was. I can't think of it right now. But if you guys remember, go ahead and comment below. Help me out there. I can't remember what it was. It was something you did as a kid, and then the little ghost or something is supposed to appear. Okay, so next on the list is Rosemary's Baby in 1968. Events on the set of the 1968 classic Rosemary's Baby got real pretty quickly once shooting the movie began. During production, legendary horror movie producer William Castle received an anonymous letter that said he would slowly rot during a long and painful illness. Not long afterwards, Castle collapsed and underwent surgery to combat a problem that would plague him for months. But that's not all. Okay, so the next person's name is Christoph Code Mead, who composed the musical scores for the film. That person passed from a hematoma of the brain after a falling off an escarpment. Other issues on the movie include the entire cast getting sick from food poisoning, and one of the movie's producers suffering a stroke while driving home from set. That sounds scary, right, people? The next movie on the list is called Psycho, and this is from 1960. Psycho scared the bejesus out of people back in 1960, but an incident on the movie set rivaled anything put into the finished film. While production was underway, Myra Jones, an uncredited body double for lead actress Janet Leigh, was murdered on the set. What? This is crazy. A handyman named Kenneth Dean Hunt was also working on the film, carried out the murder, and then told police he had done it to impress the director, Alfred Hitchcock. That sounds crazy. Claiming that he was obsessed with the notorious suspense and horror director. Following the senseless murder, Alfred Hitchcock gathered the cast and crew around him and said, "It appears we now have all the motivation we need to complete this film." Again, that was Psycho. Okay, so somebody working on set was a real psycho, as you could see. Okay, so our last movie, and again, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe, people, is The Omen, and this is from 1976. The Omen is a classic of the horror genre and was the one of the most popular and influential movies from 1970. But the tale of a young boy named Damien, who is the Antichrist, almost wasn't completed due to a curse that enveloped filming of the movie. Legend has it that as many bad things happened on the set of The Omen as the completed picture. Oh no, that's terrible. The tragedies included the son of the lead actor, Gregory Peck, committing suicide as filming began, a crew member being seriously hurt in a car accident while driving to the set. The scriptwriter's airplane was struck by lightning en routing the film's location, and if that weren't enough, an airplane in which Peck and the movie's executive producer were traveling in was also struck by lightning in a separate incident. But none of these were the biggest tragedies to befall the cast and crew of The Omen. The crew had decided to use a private airplane to get from one film location to another. I don't like how this is sounding, people. Especially when this is supposed to be a scary, evil movie. What? Are you kidding me? I would not have wanted to get on the plane. I've worked on set, and yes, they do drive you around. So the most I would want is to be driven, but imagine if you're like the main character of the movie and they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna just fly there." It's like you don't have much say, so they're like, "No, you'll be late, they yell at you. So then you're like, "I don't want to be late." So this person feels compelled to do the flying around because they don't want to be looked at bad and get yelled at on set. And because the director is depending on them to do, come on, we only can do this from this time to that time. It's crazy. Okay, so the crew had decided to use a private airplane to get from one film location to another. However, just after the plane took off with a number of crew on board, something went wrong and it crashed onto the road, hitting a car which then crashed at high speed into another vehicle. Everyone involved in the accident, 11 people total, passed away. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Peck refused to do any publicity for The Omen prior to it being released in theaters. Oh gosh, people, that is so scary. I hope that none of you had to work on scary sets and had to deal with anything crazy like that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, this is the Death series, and if you guys are enjoying it, let me know in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe.